Welcome, my friends. This is Maniacal Incorporated, and God help us all, but these are the earliest days of the rule of Diarmid Mac Corúil. So his father was known as Fergus Corúil, and Diarmid was known as Diarmid Mac Corúil, but here he's Diarmid Mac Fergus. And what a character he is. Deceitful, sadistic, wrathful, drunk. I don't know, is this the type of man that you'd want treating you? If you were sick, I think he helped his father with some ailments at one stage. Hunter, but not very skilled on that track and doesn't seem to have anything on the Traveller track. We have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of work to do to stabilize the kingdom under the rule of this man. We can see in the bottom left that his strongest trait is education, or learning. He's getting 32 learning experience per month. And he is a bit of a scholar, and he's actually already started down the scholar tree, which is absolutely fantastic. He can speak 3 languages, Goidelic, Brythonic, and Latin. So he is a bit of a scholar, and he has spent most of his time either stuck in a book or stuck in a pint glass. So I'm going to keep him on the scholarship focus. And we'll push. So learning per, his devotion is actually fairly low at the moment. Different faith opinion might be helpful, but learn on the job is going to be good for adding counselor primary skills to his own, because hell's bells, he needs it. Sanctioned loopholes won't be much good, and scholar is what his father was going for to help with the development of the counties of the Kingdom of Ireland. And just speaking about the development, I said there a while back that we'd seen a fall in the length of time it was taking to research raiding, and I thought that was because we'd added an extra county to the kingdom, but that doesn't make sense because it's not kingdom size, it's the amount of counties that follow the Irish culture. That's what affects the time to research something. And if we take a look at, where would I go for this? Cultures. What I think happened is that this region converted to Gaelic. So this region would always have been Gaelic, and this would all be Gaelic. So I think this region came in, adopted the Gaelic culture, and dropped the average development across the Gaelic counties. So we do have a bit of work to do in actually getting the development up. Where is my... I always click on the wrong one. My council is in shreds. We need to find some new councillors. We'll start with Spymaster. Here is Selvla, our stepmother. She hates us. She wants a seat in the... Oh yeah, she's actually, she's one of our courtiers. I forgot about that. We're going to give the position to Nedfriuk, who doesn't hate us as much, and I believe served as Spymaster to our father. For Chancellor, we have very few good choices, but I think it's going to go to our uncle, Cunla, who has actually started a scheme, or a faction, to depose us. And for Steward, the best choice is indeed Murcarthuk, a distant cousin up in Alloch, who also served in that position under our father, and he is currently developing the... increasing the development in Athlone. Now, it's not looking great, but while we're here, I'm going to start a scheme to sway our Archbishop, who currently does not like us and is not endorsing us. And you know what? For now, we might as well also make him our physician, because we served as physician to the kingdom before this, so now we need a new physician. So we might as well make Skandal the physician, and see will that maybe make him a bit happier. The next thing we need to do is try and re-establish as many alliances as we can. Here is the ruler of Gari, who our sister is married to, so he will accept a restructuring of that alliance. Line the Devils will not, because their ruler has a low opinion of us, and they are married to... He's our brother-in-law, so he's married to our sister. What I might as well do at this stage is nearly just start here and try and figure out who everyone is married to. Here is the chieftain of Inishmaan, and again will not accept. That's a bit closer, and if we actually get our military strength up, We might be able to restructure that alliance. I think that's pretty much all of the marriages at the moment. Yeah, that's pretty much all of those alliances dealt with. And the last thing is, of course, our own wife. And neither of her brothers will accept an alliance. Now, we could request a divorce, but we do not actually have the piety for that at the moment, and most likely that is what I am going to do, is try and get the piety together and divorce the wife. Right then, with that all taken care of, it is time to return to the battle, the last battle that our father was fighting before he died, or the last war that his troops were waging. So we're raiding around in this area, and we've gone in against a force that we raided. They basically raised their army to deal with somebody else, and we've ended up going in against them. So we should finish them off easily enough. Some of those alliances, we have very few of them to actually reoffer, are coming in, and we're beginning a siege of Dunbar. We have a visitor in the court from the Isle of Man, and he is handing out money left, right, and centre. We have a couple of different options of what we could do. Considering our traits, I think we most certainly would attempt to take advantage of his silly generosity. 68%, 1% short, that he will give us 50 quid. And he did indeed. It pays to be deceitful. So we're up to 51 gold there, and I think what we'll pretty much do is try and bring the forces back and possibly stand them down. We have lost a number of forces, and we'll need to get the army back up and running to browbeat any of our vassals that might think about doing something silly. And one of our acquaintances has died. Well, look who that is. His Holiness the Pope, who probably contributed to our learning of the Latin language just as much as our fathers, has passed away, fell from the window of his bedchamber. Well, what a way to go. We didn't get a ton of money, but a rather interesting guest has appeared at court, Donica Barad. And look at these 4 traits, especially in the realms of military. He is scarred and wounded. He's a poet. He's shrewd. Further, a novice physician. Do you know what? This man might very well become our new physician. We will recruit him to court. And it does represent a rather large outpouring of finances, but we're going to begin to improve the war camps. I think that Diarmid would have an understanding that he needs to defend himself. He's in maybe a bit of a weakened position, so he's going to begin. He's a bit diligent. It's his first day on the job. He's trying hard. That's going to give way to just pure and utter alcoholism over time. So at the moment, he's thinking straight. He's sober for now. So we will begin upgrading the war camps to get some extra forces and an extra knight. And there we see Donica taking command of the raiding armies, his first day on the job. And historically, Fergus and Conal sought to bring the southern half of the island into the kingdom peacefully. We have not seen a raid down this direction since Leinster joined with the Kingdom of Ireland in that great war against Powys. Well, to stamp his authority, Diarmid is going to send... We're going to head for Ormond. I'm not too sure what's going on with Leinster. We might move out of the way, so let them kill each other. Leinster, I think, is actually trying to seize Ormond. And we're seeing internal upheaval in our own realm. What's Connacht that now? Our son and future successor, Diarmid, has become curious. And we'll actually take a look. We haven't had a good diplomat in the family in a while. So I think I'm going to choose the diplomat focus for him. And we don't have any great potential educators. I think we're going to send him to Romaine. She is humble, calm, lustful. Probably a better steward, actually. And we have no great diplomats. He's only 3, so I might actually hold off for a while until we can get somebody better. Do you know what? Donica wouldn't be the worst to send him to. Donica, do your best. The other thing of note is that I have swung the army around and we're heading for Galloway. We have raiders here in the region. There's a good chance that they're actually going to pull back and we won't manage to hit them. So our attempts to raid into this region are basically coming to nothing. We might very well are into the south of the island. We might very well, now that we're up here, potentially continue up in this direction. I don't know, is there now going to be a flag in place preventing that from happening? So Ivonia is under siege. There is an internal war going on. Basically an attempt to overthrow the tyranny of the ruler of Connacht, the current ruler. However, this is Thomond. I'm going to have to check what exactly Thomond is doing. Somebody is trying to sell us armor, and you know what? We're not actually the worst. We've fairly solid prowess, and armor could be of use to us. I think Diarmid wants to spend his money on nothing more than alcohol. What tripe? Out with you. So Thomond has indeed started a clash against us. I'm going to fight this unit here. I think we have a fairly solid general. Things are looking good. Our champion A maimed somebody. So these are the devils that took a ton of money off of us, and we've managed to take some important prisoners. Now I'm going to swing this army around. And that's not looking great. Our 14-year-old sister, Osboil, or Osbail, named after our mother's aunt, is being shipped out to the middle of England to secure a hefty alliance here, because we have a dangerous faction on the verge of pushing its ultimatum. So a number of individuals from within the kingdom have joined with our uncle Cunla, including our stepmother. Oh, stepmother, what are you doing? My courtier, Sheila, known for her interest in venery, enters my chambers brimming with excitement. So Diarmid actually approached his father, I think in the middle of the war against Powys, to tell him about the sighting of a stag. And nothing was done about it, and Diarmid was probably furious about that. Here is our opportunity. Sheila has spotted a white stag. Oriel has gained legendary sighting for 3 years. Scandal. Our physician has been cutting up dead bodies, and from the entrails he's been reading them like rings on a tree, and he's figured out the age of the world, and it doesn't match with something else. I'm not too sure. Everyone deserves to know the truth would probably not be the best option. A reasonable point would be the best option. We've lost 155 piety. Oh, hell's bells. I'm not too sure what's after causing that. But, I was going to say, this would be the best option to get that 250. We might have to take this now. We might actually have to take this. Because I do need piety. We're getting gifts from people. They're all from Cunla. Cunla wants to negotiate an alliance all of a sudden. I'm not too sure how we've just lost 155 piety. I was going to go for I should consult the priors. I think we're maybe, because that's basically burying our nose in books instead of taking care of what's going on in the kingdom. But I think at this point in time, he's probably maybe becoming a bit stressed and a bit distracted by other notions. So do you know what? That is a reasonable point. Scandal will only gain 25 learning lifestyle experience, but it will bring us out of the negative piety figures. Because we do need some positive piety to think about divorcing our wife. Let's take a look at what's going on here. Greetings, my impressive liege. and your impressive alliances. I will accept your gift of 37 quid. This guy's offering us money for a ransom, so we captured his wife and his child. So we've ransomed out the child, Cunala. You have something that should legitimately belong to me. Relinquish it at once. So he wants the statue of Saint Bridget that our grandfather got on a pilgrimage. It gives me piety. Decline. Of all the things to start a war in the kingdom about, is it going to be that? He's advising that we formalize an alliance. He's suddenly realized that he is totally defenseless. You absolute moron. We will accept that alliance. Leinster has won in a border raid against Ormond. Thomond's forces have disappeared. I think their siege is being brought to an end. We didn't actually go in against them. Scandal is coming back to us with more on seeing stars. From all my evenings watching stars, I have seen with my own eyes what I have only heard before. If we look for answers in the heavens, we will get more learning lifestyle experience. It will lead us down the path of cynicism. I think that we would look to a more earthly focus. Monthly piety will go up, and Scandal will gain 15 opinion with us, and we'll gain 250 prestige. And by prestige, I mean piety. Here he is, the man himself, the man, the myth, the legend, Pope Urbanus. He's sound out, he's decent. We're asking him for a divorce, and he will grant us the right to divorce our wife. After much prayer and deliberation, go way out of that. You came straight back with a response. I got the email straight away. He has decided to grant the request to divorce your wife on the grounds of them not adhering to the true faith. Indeed, they're not insular. That's right, the devil. I do love a good hunt. The only problem is our entire army is raised, and this lad's opinion is at minus 100. We've just divorced our wife. The portraits have been brought in. I think we're going to spend our time looking for a new wife instead of accepting this invitation. We're also going to start planning our own hunt. And I don't want to go on this one and maybe get shown up by him. You're grand out. We'll talk to you later. You're grand. God help us all, but the possible alliance numbers aren't great. The armies that can be put together. Here is the third highest alliance that we could form. 45 troops. That's not brilliant. Do you know what? Who needs a wife when you have alcohol and a raiding army and plans to go on a hunt? We've sieged down Thomond. We're going to bring the army up and get them, now that we're hostile to them. Hopefully, see if we can get them to deal with this army here by Thomond. Because they're actually attacking, I think, to seize some land. We've seen that possibly come to an end. I'm not too sure what's after happening in that faction. To install a different member of the family. That's actually to install the ruler of Connacht on the throne. That has also been disbanded. Now, unfortunately, that battle has actually knocked a good chunk of our forces out, or the two battles that we fought, so I will need to stand them down. Just as Leinster has gotten all of its money back, so we won't be able to go in either of those two directions for a while. It looks like Nad Friach has taken Evonia. And Aireachtuch, or Aireachtuch, has been deposed as the ruler of this region. From what I can see, Alil II has been installed as the new ruler over here. Dear God, what the hell is going on in this region? We have a new learning lifestyle perk. Let's go for scholarly circles. And let's see how much extra devotion we get. 2. By which I mean our learning has gone up by 2. Because of our level of devotion, which isn't all that much. Actually, we're getting quite close to faithful, which will give us another 2. Now, what the hell was the whole issue with the wife? We couldn't form alliances with the wife's brothers. So I divorced her. The hope was to form a betrothal to the daughter of our very disloyal vassal in the Outer Hebrides. Unfortunately, she has already formed a betrothal to a 47-year-old. That's not gonna last very long. I think it was suggested in the comment section of the last video, we are going to try and murder this woman at some stage. Especially because she actually joined with our uncle in a threat to depose us before we formed an overwhelming alliance, and he sorted himself out pretty quickly. We'll leave that for a while. We'll try and get the priest on side first of all, get the archbishop on side, and then we will look to murdering her, but that's going to totally mess up everything here. Because I was hoping to murder her after we'd formed a betrothal here. We could just murder him as well. At no other point in time in the history of the kingdom has this position been so important. We are going to appoint a master of the hunt, Dungol, who we are trying to have inherit the position of Master of the Serpent. I will appoint him. And now, with our army stood down, with a nice chest of money put together, with alliances formed to protect the kingdom, and, most importantly, with the wife kicked out of bed, so we've the whole thing to ourselves, we are going to organise a hunt. It's a pricey affair. It is a pricey affair. We will plan a hunt. And we have an option. Look at this. It's a cyberpunk moose. A legendary hunt. Higher pearl grants more prestige. And this gives us the option to go up into Dungannon or Dvoka. Clogher. Can we go to all these places? So it looks like we're holding the hunt in Dungannon, if I'm right. We could, if we wanted to, wander away around in different places. This is a wetlands. And these are mountains, or, well, no, they're plains. 62% chance of danger, because of the county control. Right. That means we're going to have to hire mercenary guards, most likely. And for the wetlands, a forther. How does that do for us now? My God, the county control there is off the wall, and the holder's opinion is not great either. Right. We have to see who's actually the holder in that area at the moment. So yeah, that's the problem. It's one of the very many children of, I don't even know at this stage. Diamasuk, actually, who was put in control of this region when his liege sacrificed the bishop of this region. I wonder, could we organise a marriage between her and our son? Do you know what? There's probably not much of a point. How much of a reason to do so. And it's going to take ages. It's going to take absolute ages if we try to increase the control here. It's taken 9 years. Oh, boys. We are currently trying to get the development up. Do you know what? I mean, come on. It's a legendary stag of some make, shape, or form. We'll go up in that direction. I told my dad about a legendary stag, and he just ignored me and did kingdom stuff. And then he bought a raptor, and he never even used it once. And I had to go on a stupid boat to the Faroes, and I got sick, and I hated it. I don't care if there's danger. I want to slay a beast. And, yeah, we have our mercenary guards. We're spending well over half the wealth of the kingdom to travel to Dungannon. Well over half the wealth of the kingdom to travel from Tara to Dungannon. We will start the hunt. Reasonable party, yeah, we'll just leave it at reasonable. And search parties? Absolutely. Flushing gangs, bring them all. I will be hosting a hunt in Dungannon, and time has come for us to depart. He thinks that's actually full of beer. He hasn't realised it's a horn. At last, a chance to pursue my passion, finally! Now that I'm in power. I can't wait. So we've danger, tempting fruit. That's, look at that for a... Jeez, look at this for a character. Our road takes us through treacherous parts of Ordvaka. While I scan for any dangers ahead, a rustling bush grabs my attention. Could it be a wild animal? As I brace myself for impact, Satanta jumps out of the bush, holding a plant. Look at that. You scared me. Absolutely, that face would scare me. So what if it's poisonous, or let him eat it? Yeah, absolutely, 100% we'd just let him eat it. If it's poisonous, all the better. As we await the arrival of the rest of the guests, my servants can get started on the preparations. The gameskeepers check the wetlands each day for signs of quarry while establishing a camp closer to the hunting grounds. Let's look at the guest list. Who do we have? Oh God. Oh dear God. There's the man himself. There's Dungol. There's Lieber, the great crane and military engineer for our father. Right, these two losers. Don't you go conspiring over in a corner, or I'll dunk your heads in bog water. This lad isn't even trying, he's just hammered. My spies have informed me about a hunter causing a ruckus at the local tavern. The man has been spending large amounts of gold and bragging loudly about the great deal he struck with a fancy lady in pearls and silks. Thank you for bringing this to my attention would make me stressed, because I am sadistic and wrathful. So we could send him to the dungeon, or bring him to me. I think I can jog his memory. So he would be killed. A hostile or otherwise malicious scheme is exposed. I am suspicious of a few people. We will become vigilant for a few years, and his traits are not great. Bring him to me. I think I can jog his memory. So we're going to drag him out into the middle of the wetlands. And the murder deal scheme was revealed. You see, I did it for truth and justice. Yeah. Cronon assembles the party, and as the sun rises over the camp in the wetlands near Dungannon, my many gameskeepers and flushers have been poring over the area for tracks and fumes. They're all getting led astray by human tracks leading into the bog. 2 leading into the bog and 1 leading back, and they're kind of trying to figure out what those are. I've told them, don't worry about that, that's fine. The beast will be mine. Peril is middling, prestige is mediocre. So I'm not too sure what's after going on there. It looks like we're coming back. I've noticed that Volher avoids me more than usual. He always sits at the opposite end of the table whenever we're invited to a feast, and constantly refuses my company while camping. Diarmid is a worthless sycophant. I'd be a way better king than him. So he called me a rude name, which is fair justification for imprisoning him. You're going to end your days in a dungeon. We have toll collectors ahead of us. 11% chance. We could pay the toll, or we have a pretty hefty chance. Lued Mac Gilfoilon is our caravan master. Perhaps you take payment in blood. I think we throw Gilfoilon at them. So we're back home in Tara. Well, that wasn't a great hunt. Thank God I can go inside again. I think we're going to need to get more money together and maybe hit all of the regions in there. So maybe that wasn't a great job. We're also going to need to maybe increase the county control. I'm going to take this opportunity, now that we've come back, to hold a court. A markedly disgruntled High Chieftain Merciarthuk hurries to your throne. My legal rights over Ulster are well attested. Will you support my claim and have your vassal, Alil, relinquish what does not belong to him? Absolutely. Entertain me. You must win it by the sword. And it looks like he has indeed won the County of Ulster by the sword. Well done, Mercarthuk, well done. And now, actually, speak of the devil, and he shows up straight away. Before me stands Alil, who's just after losing some land. Killala has been hit hard by recent enemy occupation. The people are starving. So Diarmid's stewardship is quite low. I do think that he's the type of man, and that hunt definitely proves that he is the type of man who is flahullach with money. Some gold will help to lessen your suffering. I was going to go with I will grant you tax relief. We could just demand the continued payment of the taxes. But as a scholar with 18 learning, he thinks he's intelligent. He's not just brute force. And again, he actually has low martial. He is sadistic, he is wrathful. But he's not just a brute force individual. He thinks he's conniving. He thinks he has high intrigue. He doesn't. Some gold will help to lessen your suffering. And this is what I do truly love about CK3, is these options. This isn't just a kind of a bland, we'll pick one of these three and move on. This is an option which is going to define the entire career of the man sitting on that throne. A gaggle of grotty peasants appear before my throne. They are armed with the most vicious, flaming, farming equipment I have seen in my whole career of quashing rebellions. One pokes a pitchfork through my favourite throne cushion. This being which rules us is a true demon incarnate. No real man could be capable of such violent extremities as we have faced. Take up arms. Help us slay it before it transforms. We haven't been tremendously cruel. We've been cruel with people in... Okay, so we took somebody out to a bog and we killed them. We've been good to the regions, though, and we had an opportunity there to cause some devilment, and we didn't take it. We have three fantastic options. 150 prestige, and a 66% chance to gain court grandeur, intrigue, learning, lifestyle. I don't think I'm going to go down that path. And they will become confident in the liege's humanity, or they will become superstitious. Gain the nickname the Spawn of Satan. I think it would make a fantastic playthrough, but I don't think it fits Diarmid's character. He doesn't have high intrigue as high as his learning. He is well educated, and his martial is poor, and he's not really in a position to force through and become very dreadful. I think this is a reckoning for Diarmid. I think he's going to mend most of his ways and probably become more dependent on alcohol and on hunting. Have I truly been so abominable? We will lose 30 dread, lose the trait sadistic, which will actually negatively impact control growth, but hopefully open up the path for something else to come in there instead. It is a sin, so it's going to help our piety, and it's also going to remove a negative penalty against the vassals. My God, what have I become? The poor devil absolutely devastated by the failure to find the white stag. Gillifuelon has died. Gillifuelon was our caravan master, and we actually have an opportunity to replace him with our other stepmother, who just came back from the first time we ever met her. Arrived home from our father's expedition to Rome with a baby. But fair play to her, she knows her way around a caravan. Vohar the poor man, we stuck him in prison after he said some things to us on the way back from Oriel. We will negotiate his release. And you know what? Sure, we'll employ him as our executioner. We've invited Skandal into a bathtub full of candles. Oh wait, no, a room full of brass orbs and candles, sorry. And we're trying to basically commune with angels out of the corner of our eyes. He's not happy. I think we're going to agree, because I would like to pick up the zealous trait. So we don't get as much learning lifestyle as if we went down any of the other routes. But he'll gain some opinion, so we could actually stop trying to sway him. We'll gain some opinion and maybe become zealous. Our sister has just come of age, and we're in a position to immediately ship her off to solidify that alliance of 3,500 troops. And with our army fairly well recovered, we're going to raise them as raiders and send them across the border into Leinster. Our father would be absolutely devastated to see what has happened to the alliance in this region. Leinster is sending its forces up. They have no commander. And only once have we actually marched on Ferns itself down to Loch Gorman. And this could very well be the second time that we will do so. And Markarthuk is in command of the army. Delighted with himself after we gave him some extra land. Well, we didn't give him some extra land. We let him fight against... a child. We have a rake of pop-ups all at once. We're in a position to receive some money and form a truce with Crihan. So this is the brother of Na'i, or Natfriach, actually, in Ennis, if I am correct. He's after he has successfully taken Desmond, the Devil. We'll accept. And we were also told that our court poet has died, but we're not in a position to replace them. We don't actually have anyone with the poet trait. That is a substantial army there from Ormond. Best number of troops it's possible to have. And Skandal, after we just got him to like us, has died. And Failcar does not endorse us. We don't have a lot of great options. For now, I think we will put in Municia. If there was somebody younger who could actually be trained up for the position, that would be helpful. There's Coitlin. She's poor, though. Insightful thinker. This person is a herbalist. Do you know what? Sure. You can be the new court physician. And it's not looking great, but we will start a scheme to sway our new bishop. We have the money, but unfortunately we are blocked from starting another hunt for a few months. About 7 months, so we're going to have to wait. That's pretty much what Diarmid was getting the money together for. He doesn't care about nothing else, only hunting at the moment. So again, there are no solid alliance opportunities at the moment. This is probably as good as it gets. 760 forces in this region. I'm not entirely even too sure who's going to inherit. Oh, it's this guy. So, yeah, we'll try and organize this marriage to Beatrice. She has a son who is heir to some regions from a previous marriage. Do you know what? Would we be able to... We could convert her to Insular. Could we convert the child to Insular? So we have an alliance with the Invisible Woman. Oh, and we have a wife as well. Now, she's taken a bit of a beating from the big whip that she's brought with her, but one of the reasons that I actually married her was she's deceitful. There's no actual opinion bonus from that, but we are also deceitful. So that's fantastic. Yeah, absolutely. Give me money. There's a hunt coming up in a few months. Do you want to go on a hunt with us? There's a white stag wandering around Armagh. He's frightening all the priests. Unfortunately, no, it doesn't look like her son has come to the court, but we are in a position to get her to convert to Insularism. Well, we had the option to get the nickname the Spawn of Satan at one stage. Doesn't look like that's going to happen. The people call you King Diarmid the Drunkard. Not what you would call flattering, perhaps, but accurate. The Drunkard? What? Preposterous, Diarmid says from under his seat on the floor of a bar. I was just about to check what the standing here in Oriel was when we got a pop-up that The champion of the serpent has died. A has died of old age, and the title has now moved to a new inheritor. So I'm still trying to get the hang of how exactly this works. So he has gotten himself the trait Huntsmaster and Valiant. I'm not too sure if that's actually moved up his skill here any bit. No. And we have an option then to nominate the successor, and at the moment we actually don't have any worthy successors. We'd better go and try and find a few. So they need to have the, I was going to say they need to have the Hunt Traitor. They need to have the trait Hunter. We've just gotten ourselves a new lifestyle, learning lifestyle perk. Apostate. Different faith opinion plus 15. Faith conversion cost minus 75%. Learn on the job. That's going to be a beneficial one to us. God almighty, look at that for diplomacy. So that's going to be beneficial to us. I will just check this fool. So it was usually minus 93 and it's now dropped to minus 83 because he is of a different faith. And that's not going to happen. I don't think this is going to happen either. Can't even. We finally have the money together to hold a new hunt, and we're finally in a position to hold a new hunt. And we will go and we will look for the legendary... Oh, it's gone. There you go. The second missed opportunity by Diarmid. The legendary beast is gone. We'll hold a hunt. We'll confirm. Now, there's a couple of places around here that might be good. I was thinking originally about heading for Kilventine, but Belcoo actually looks a bit better, and we'd actually be going into a forest as opposed to wetlands. How novel, how unique. So let's pick there. And you know what? It's plains all the way. Plain sailing until we hit the forest. So I think we could actually get rid of the mercenary guards, could we? 3% chance of danger, oh no. And... a jungle stalker. Yes, absolutely, to get through the jungles of Ulster. And as the intent for this hunt, we are going to set it to murder. And we are going to murder... Where's the deer? I want to murder a deer. Oh, slay beast. We're going to slay beast. And I've ever so slightly changed the path coming back. So we're going to basically just head straight for Belcoo, and then we're going to go through Ardvacha and Dundelgan on the way back, just for a bit of sightseeing. There's no actual sights to see, but we're going to see what's there anyway. So I've also hired a mountaineer to bring us through the staggering peaks of Dundelgan, and I've set it up to substantial party. More prestige on completion. All courtiers and guests join. So this is much different to what we had for the legendary. I think it was a flushing party or something is what we had for... Oh, was this the option? This was the flushing gangs. So this increases the chance of success. Spend all the money. I don't care. I'm not using it for anything else. Spend it all. Boys, but would you look at this? There's Bedouins coming to join in the hunt in Belcoo as we seek to get revenge for our loss of the stag. That man can barely stand. Look at the face on him. That is a man who can barely keep his eyes open. I can't stand. Journeying through Balya Ohaferdia, I pass by a peculiar looking tent splayed open with its yet more peculiar looking occupant inside. This has usually been good. Our grandfather and our father both had their readings done in tents. So here is Ardgor Mac Gillapatrick of House Gillapatrick. Tell me my future, wise one. So we lose a fiver. And it's good omens again. It's always been good omens. So if we take a look at the guest list, we have Alil, we have Nadfriach, we have Connla. Oh, that old weirdo has joined again. Here is the new champion of the serpent. You got into trouble the last time that we went on a hunt, so you mind yourself this time. So the same old crew, the same old, same old. Oh, look at that man. He's absolutely plastered. Senta. I might have called him Setanta. I thought it was Setanta the last time, unless he's changed his name. Senta assembles the party as the sun rises over the camp in the forest near Belcoo. My many gamekeepers and flushers have been poring over the area for tracks and fumes, while there is sadly no sign of a buck in the area. There's plenty of foxes. So we're at a 62% chance of success because of our learning, because of our martial, which is very low, because of our aptitude as a master of the hunt and our previous hunter experience, because the number of guests are actually contributing a tremendous amount. And Belcoo has forest terrain, and there are no holdings. So those are all the things that are kind of assisting with the success chance. Now, if we said that we wanted to hunt a stag, the success chance would decrease greatly. We could go for a hare, we could go for this fox that we're being told about, the prestige is trivial. Let's try and hunt a wolf. So the peril is middling, prestige is middling, it's better than either of the other two options, and the success chance will decrease. So not greatly, okay, it dropped a bit. So Senta has found tracks, fair play to him. Just as my champion, Thungol, started to dismount, legs still dangling from the saddle, my simple vassal, Alil, oh god, made sure to bump into his horse, sending him tumbling to the ground. We could give him a taste of the belt. The problem is that that would greatly decrease, or it would decrease the chance of success, probably because the foxes would get frightened from the sound of the whipping. So we're going to try and act as a mediator. We would gain stress if we went with this option. We'll try and be a mediator. Some people have bonded over hunting. We have a chance to impress our Archbishop. I am going to, because of his high learning, his clear rationality. Don't know if that actually did anything or not. Poachers here in the woodlands. They huddle together as I ride up with my guards, making a poor job of hiding the dead. They found a stag. I wanted a stag. It's going to slightly decrease our chances, but you all seem to be excellent bowmen. I don't think we're coming out of this hunt with anything good. So if we can actually increase our trait experience gain, I think that's pretty much going to be the best option. So the success chance will decrease slightly, but we will gain poacher training. And you know what? It wasn't all that bad of a drop. My uncle Connella signals across the woodland. The whole wolf pack crouches in a hollow not far off. Look at the face on this lad. Look at him. He's gone. He's gone. He's in a world of his own. After it, we ride. 75 prestige. It is more perilous, but the success chance increases. That lad's delighted. That's good. Now, this wasn't quick in sobering him up. There's peasants foraging in the forests, and they're messing up my hunt. A generous donation should keep them away long enough. We lose 7 quid, but we gain some piety and 5% development growth. Go out of it. After hours of riding, we are finally cornering the beast. Our chase has not been in vain. We could try and bring it down ourselves. It would greatly increase the hunter trait experience, however, it is a prowess challenge, and it leaves us a 15% chance of being killed. I don't think that we are yet the great hunter that we imagine that we are, so I think for now we will be happy to shoot down the beast. We're hoping one day to engage in a one-on-one battle with a legendary beast. That day is not today. I will shoot it. I take aim. As the party keep the exhausted animal in place, exhale and loose. The arrow strikes true, straight into the beast's heart. That's how you do it. So we have a beastly wolf hide, 15 prestige, plus 2 court grandeur, glory hound vassal levy contribution. Hunts like this are a pure joy. This is the first successful hunt anyone in this family has ever been on. Cunla directs the breaking up, carefully skinning the carcass with direction from the game masters. We place the eager dog's share of the spoils on the stretched hide before departing for camp and home. So we could send it to our sister, or we will become the owner of the beastly wolf hide. We've lost a lot of stress, gained 3 in Venator. That doesn't sound great. Now it's telling us we've gained another 12, so I think this is the entirety. So it was 3 just for bringing down the beast. 12 in total. Can we click on the man himself? Or do I have to actually bring this to an end first of all? We're getting there, we're getting there. I don't think I've ever gotten anyone in the family up to level 1 yet. And a dangerous beast has been slain. Popular opinion has gone up by 25. And we've gained 450 prestige. This was a fairly solid hunt. And we've gained the trait hunter. I think we already had that. And the champion of the serpent has gained some glory. We will finish. We haven't gotten home yet, but we've managed to send the pelt on ahead of us, and we're going to hang it on the wall right behind the throne. A symbol of the first ever successful hunt in the Kingdom of Ireland. There's always somebody demanding to fight us. And it's Ardgar. Ardgar, you literally... We were talking to you like 5 minutes ago in a tent. You're a witch. You predicted the future. You said it was going to be good omens. Are you sure? Did he tell us it was good omens to trick us? 50% chance if we fight him. 71% chance if Vohar fights him. Vohar, you go and fight him. You messed up the last time. See if you can make this lunatic. I don't know. No. Vohar failed, got himself wounded and injured. Ardgar, what's your scam? It's a different family, but I'm going to pretend it's the same family. Another Machgilla-Portric, Corsina, the Heartless, and he finds himself stuck in a metal cage. I think he's trapped in, like, metal armour. Get me out of this metal prison. My squire took offence at my manner, even going so far as to call me heartless and abandoned me. So we could get him to join us. He's not great, though. No great traits. So do you know what? Yeah, go on. Give me 15 quid. We'll get you out. At long last, I am finally home. We've been gone for 120 days, and we managed to kill a wolf. Thank God I can go inside again. I'm not sure what's happening with our piety. It's gone down to minus 143 again. I have no idea where that massive drop occurred. I'm going to have to kind of check to see why or where that's happening. That's the second time he's gone into fairly hefty negative figures. But there we go. We had 2 hunts. One of them was successful. One of them was for a legendary beast, so that was the first time that we've ever held a hunt for a legendary beast, and the other was a successful hunt for a wolf. The first time that anyone in this family has ever caught anything. We need to get some finances together. And our usual method for getting those finances together is to hit England and Scotland. We're not in a position, and won't be for another, I think, 15 years to get raiding. Naval raiding. So that would bring us in line of the south of England. There's a lot of money down around this region, and we could start hitting around here. It would be a tremendous, tremendous opportunity. Even just down this coast, which is kind of difficult for us to reach. That's going to take us a while, however. And I think one thing that Diarmid is going to do is he is going to consider as weakness his father's diplomatic attempts to bring the rest of the country under Irish control. I think he's probably going to either subjugate or force vassalize the remaining independent kingdoms on the island of Ireland, and he's going to look to doing that in the next episode. Thank you for joining me on this one, and I hope to see you on the next one. And bring your bow and arrows, because it's highly likely we're going on another hunt.